Hello, 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 hello. Hello! Buongiorno, buenos dias, bonjour, guten tag, 早上好. What else do I know? Ohio. Anything else? I think that's about it. That's about it. Good morning, English. Ha! Welcome to the BookTube Club in April. Brought to you again by tea. Rock and mint tea with honey. Delicious. If you're wondering why my bookshelf is empty up here, my books are all on the floor. Don't ask why. Just don't. If you don't know what the BookTube Club is, it's basically my little book club at the end of the month where we talk about what we've read. You hopefully in the comments so we can communicate and interact. And me talking into the camera in my own room looking like a weirdo. Boom! Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Oh, and another important part are snacks or drinks. Grab a snack, grab a drink, like tea or cookies, and sit down and enjoy the video. So let's go. So we're at a total of eight books this month, which is quite a lot, and which will probably make this video incredibly long. So the first book that I read this month was actually a book that I technically read at the end of last month, but I filmed my video before I finished it. And it's called All the Bright Places by Niven. N-I-V-E-N. Time out, short story time. So people who meet me, or new people that I meet, they tend to assume that my name is Jennifer. My name is not Jennifer, my name is Jenny, with a Y at the end. I don't know why. I mean, is it really that uncommon to... I know that Jenny is a common nickname for Jennifer, obviously, but it's just... They just assume, and then they just start calling me Jennifer, or write my name down as Jennifer. I'm like, no. Why are you... facts, people, facts! Okay, time in again. If I had to categorize this book, I would call it questioning my teenage existentialism, or taking what is the meaning of life very literal. So it's very John Green-esque, and I know you shouldn't compare different authors, but that's kind of the feel that I got. I feel like if you like John Green, you will definitely like this. It's not like a copy of the John Green writing style, which is also why it's very refreshing to read. It's slightly more cutesy, more romantic than the John Green book, and it has the typical streak of I'm very young and very mature and having very philosophical and depressing thoughts. I actually really enjoyed it. It's a nice and pondering read, so ding! Thumbs up. Next, I read the first 3 books in the Raven cycle, which is The Raven Boys, Dream Thieves, and Blue, yeah, that book. And it's by Maggie Stiefvater, and I have heard quite a bit about Maggie Stiefvater, especially about her Shiver series, and later on, kind of, you know, in my peripheral hearing, does that even exist, about The Raven Boys. I didn't hear that many good reviews about Shiver, so that's why I never really wanted to pick it up. I don't know why I suddenly picked up The Raven Boys, but oh my god, it's so good! It still doesn't make me want to read Shiver, but oh my god, The Raven Boys are so good! And I've already posted 2 book reviews, and my last one is gonna go up after this video sometime. But oh my god, it's so good! Okay, Jenny, stop. If you can't tell, I really enjoyed it. The Raven Boys follows a girl named Blue. She grows up in a family of psychics, but she isn't psychic. And she meets 4 boys who go to the local prep school, and they're all rich for the most part. And the richest of them all, Richard Gansey III, has this weird obsession in finding this sleeping / dead Welsh king, which is supposedly buried somewhere close to this little town in Virginia, USA. It contains a lot of whimsical and magical elements, not the kind of Alohomora elements, but more like the spiritual kind, which kind of makes everything a little bit more peculiar, a little bit more strange, a little bit more awesome, sprinkled with fantasticness. So I can highly recommend this series. And the characters are so fantastic. In the end, I'm shipping everyone with everyone right now. That's what happens when you read this series. And a couple of days ago it was announced that the last book, The Raven King, was gonna get pushed back from September till next year. Ugh. After that, I wanted to read some kick-butt YA fantasy a la Throne of Glass or in that direction, but I couldn't find anything, so I settled for Cinder because I've already heard a lot of good things about the Lunar Chronicles. I read Cinder, but I didn't really like it. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. I felt the characters were kind of flat. very one-dimensional, which is what you usually get from a traditional fairy tale, but I was expecting something more because it was a retelling, it was a modern retelling, and people were like loving it, so I thought maybe it has like a really, really cool twist. Yes, Cinder is a cyborg, so if you don't know, Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella where they live in a world where people are cyborgs and there are people on the moon, Sailor Moon style. That's the picture that I had the whole entire time. That queen and her lunar people were like the people from the moon from Sailor Moon. Like the queen, what did she call? Serenity? Serena? I don't know, Serenity I think was the mom's name, right? But then evil, because the queen was supposed to be evil. World building was very, very minimal. I mean, it's not like I wanted a 50-page essay on what New Beijing was like, but I just wanted a better overview on the political landscape because that's what the center of the plot is about, right? But we don't get that. Basically what we get is these people are good, these people are bad, deal with it. So, people have been telling me that Scarlet is worse and Cress is awesome, so I don't know yet if I want to continue. I'm gonna keep it open for now, but I'm not gonna pick it up right away. Then I picked up Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Sounds like moist. Which is adult contemporary, and it made me cry a lot. Oh my god! So this book follows a guy who's very successful. He has a great job, a great girlfriend, great sex, but one day life gives him lemons and he gets into a motorcycle accident and he becomes quadriplegic, which basically means he can't move anything except for maybe his head and his hands a little bit. Fast forward a couple years, it follows a girl named Blue, and she recently got fired from her old job because the cafe closed down where she used to work, and she's looking for a new job and she becomes his carer. And the book focuses on the relationship of these two people and how the relationship develops, what it means to have these memories of a great life but not being able to live it anymore. And it's a real heart mover and tearjerker, so if you're into that kind of stuff, then maybe you should go read that book. So the next book that I read was The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, and I read this because two of my BookTube friends read it and it turned into kind of a no-brainer, and one of them was Reagan from the Peruse Project and the other one was Fran from Friend Off the Grey. And it's very strange because these two people, they match my reading taste perfectly, and it's very bizarre, okay? So basically what they like, I know I will like, and I read it and it was like super, super interesting. It's very like dark and sinister but not really scary. It follows a girl from the 17th century and she gets married into this rich merchant family in Amsterdam, and upon her marriage she gets gifted this dollhouse which is a perfect replica of the house that she's living in, and in order to fill up this dollhouse she contracts this miniaturist and she asks for pieces. So the miniaturist makes her pieces which look exactly like the things that she owns at her house, but then the miniaturist also starts sending her own pieces, and these pieces are things which happen actually in the girl's real life. For example, she sends her figures of her husband, of herself, of her sister-in-law, etc. And whenever something happens in her real life, the dolls start reflecting these changes. She starts wondering who the miniaturist is, how she manages to know all these secrets that are going on that even she doesn't know about. If I would have to describe the characters and the plot in this book, it's like a big knot of secrets which starts to unravel, but each character is trying to hold it together, but it just won't do. It just breaks apart. The whole time the story feels kind of like dampened and like there's a heavy fog and you're waiting for it to lift, you're waiting maybe for the silver lining, but it just never does, and I found that really, really fascinating, and I actually really, really enjoyed that book. Then the last book that I read is lying on my floor right now, so hold on, is this one, Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. And this is a graphic novel, and at the same time it's an autobiography of the author. She grew up in Iran and now I think she lives in France, and it takes you through her childhood, her teenage years, her early 20s. It gives you an overview of what it meant to her to live during the war, to go abroad, to flee from the war, the political landscape in Iran. It describes her experiences with the political transitions, the religious transitions. And what I found really, really interesting is that the art style of this book is very relaxed, very laid back. It's very comic style like, but the topics that it sometimes addresses, you know, it ranges from just teenage rebellion of wanting to smoke, of wanting to have sex, of wanting to have a drink, to war and torture and being a war prisoner and sexism and suppression of women in her society. So it's a very, very stark contrast between the different panels, and it definitely creates a sense of awareness and understanding, and that's what I really liked about this. So this was it. This was the BookTube Club of April. Please tell me what you've read this month, what you've enjoyed, and if you have read any of these books, what are your opinions on these books? And yeah, so thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye! Basically like a 18th century YA novel gone wrong. Author manages to play with reader expectations because she's basically shoving you the facts into your face and you're like, no, no, I don't believe this.